Hi everybody, Nick here at Dogwood Acres Farms. Today's DIY is going to be actually making the platform for our ant deterrent stands and the beehives. We're going to use some used wood to build it, and it's going to be the size that I recommend. However, you can build any size that you like. If you like this channel, please remember to subscribe and like it in the comments below as well. We're going to get started now with building our platform for our beehive stands. Okay, we're going to go ahead and assemble this structure now, the stand support. So before we do that, what I wanted to show you real quick was just a really quick little on-the-fly DIY. When you're putting in a drill bit into a drill, this is an older drill, it's an electric one, so you're going to hand tighten it up, get it in place. And you want the drill bit to be just near the bottom where the, where the actual splines of the drill just start. You don't want to be any further than that. So you're going to tighten it up, and then we're going to take the chuck tightener here. And this is just a little something that I was taught by many different people over the years. I'm going to put it in the first hole, we're going to tighten it, and then we're going to just turn the drill a little bit, go to the second hole, and tighten it again. And it did tighten again. Always use 2 of the chuck tightening holes when you're tightening it. If you just tighten it with 1, it won't go tight enough. You have to use 2 of them. So that's just a little quick on-the-fly DIY for you when we're building our bee stand today. For you to know for the future if you're ever putting a chuck into a drill that needs an actual chuck tool to tighten it. Okay, so we've cut all the pieces now for the platform of our bee stand for the beehives. We've got 2 pieces at the end that are each going to be 33 1/4, and then the 2 pieces on the side, which are going to be 35 1/4. It's not really rectangular, but kind of rectangular. And then we got one more piece that goes right here. It'll go in the middle as a support, and that's going to sit down in there. That one's going to be measured out at 33 3/4. Now what we have to do is assemble them all. We're going to screw them together using 3-inch screws, and I'll show you the pattern that we put them together to make it very rigid in its design. Alright, so we've got all of our wood that we want to assemble. We've got our screwdriver to put in the screws. We've got our drill, which we just did a quick tutorial on how to tighten it. Obviously it wasn't plugged in when we did that, so we're now going to go ahead and plug in the drill. Never ever work on any type of power equipment when it's plugged in, unless it's for its intended use. But if you got to adjust something or anything like that, don't of course leave it plugged in. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and assemble these, drilling the holes first. Again, same thing as the idea on the stand that we did for the ant deterrent on the other video. We don't want any of the wood to split. So we're going to drill the pilot holes first, and then we're going to go ahead and drill the screws into the wood after the pilot holes have been drilled. So that's why we got 2 different drills to do that. So we'll start down here on this corner. And we just line it up nicely. You can use the floor kind of as a good base. Get it all in place. So we're just going to go ahead and put the first screw hole in here. Make sure the electrical cord's back out of the way. And then we'll just immediately go ahead and put the screw in there so that the wood doesn't move around. So what I'm going to do to basically make sure that it doesn't move around things, I'm on in my garage I've got the drilled part here, the cut part of the floor. I'm going to just move it back a bit. I'm going to put 3 screws on each side of the 2x6 and then 2 screws down to hold the 2x4 in place. So I'm not going to bore you with that, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And then before we do that, I just want to show you quickly how we would want to assemble it. So we've got the front board here overlapping this board. Then what we do is we're going to bring this board up to that board. So we've got this one on the face of this one on the face of this one, and then the back, same sort of thing. We're just going to go ahead, we're going to bring this board up to that one, and this board is going to come in to that one. That way it creates a little bit more sturdy, less movement as well. If I just went ahead and put both of these pieces of this board on the front, and like a lot of people will do that, and just keep it, it'll be the same size basically, but it can create more movement. This way, there's a lot less movement. There's a better torsion, rigidity. Okay, so we've got the structure screwed together. I forgot to mention also with the middle 2x4 piece, you can use a 2x6 if you want to. Doesn't really matter, I've just always used a 2x4. You can put it, it's approximately 16 inch on center. It's off by like, you know, 1/16 I think of an inch either way. So 16 on center will be pretty good. And we're not going to apply the top deck board. By the way, all of these pieces of wood that I'm using are all used wood from some project or another, or something that I've received from a friend. I like to use used wood as much as I can, recycle it for these kind of projects where it's not something that, you know, really needs to look all that terrific. It'll look okay, but it serves a purpose more than a look or a need. It's not going to be used by humans. It's for bee stands. The wood is still all really good. It's reusable, and it's really cheap because it's basically free. If you want to go out and buy brand new wood for it, you can obviously, but you don't have to. Okay, so I have attached all of the deck boards. They are measuring each this way 35 1/4 in length, and there are 2, 4, 6, 7 of them, and the 2x4s running down the center, so I've fastened them at the ends, the center, and each end obviously, and that gives it good support. So what this is designed for, this is the actual bee, it's not the bee stand, this is actually the platform that the stand sits on. So we made our ant deterrent stand earlier. It's nice and balanced. We balanced it out, and that's how it will stand. Underneath, we're going to basically level it and lean it slightly forward so the water can drain from the beehives. We'll do that in another video out in the actual bee yard. The nice thing I like about this is when you have multiple hives or large supers, if you use large supers, you may get quite high on it. So what we can do with this, it's nice, we can actually stand right on here, and we can then lift what we need from this height rather than being down. And this is also going to be up another, you know, foot or so off the ground, maybe even 1.5 feet to keep the hives high enough that skunks and raccoons won't really go for them. And then you're kind of dealing with a much higher level. You're at this level, and it's difficult. So now we can be up, we can stand on it, we can work around the hive. You know, it's going to be very sturdy, and we don't have to worry about, you know, tripping on a rock or on the grass or dirt or mud or anything. So it's actually quite a nice feature to have. And you can make yours larger if you want to. I just found that for spacing, this particular size worked well for me. So that's basically our bee stand sitting on top of our platform for the bee stand.